Hmm. It's Friday night, the 19th of September, 2020, and I am um, Dante's dad. And I took myself off of Facebook indefinitely. It could be a day, it could be a week. I don't know why. It just felt like it. Sometimes I think you wear it, you're welcome on certain occasions. At a party, at an event, TV show. And I like how the room is actually just quiet. Just quiet. And this is the normal time I would start, between 10 and whenever. And I was thinking about so many times and so many ways I had broadcasted this thing, and the things I've added, things, the people I've had on, the musical guests that we've had on Facebook. I try to do it here, but they always shut me down completely when I play any kind of music. So I kind of filtered it a little bit. Hopefully the trick worked, because that song was Blood, Sweat, and Tears. You Made Me So Very Happy. And I always liked that song, but I thought it would be appropriate because of my boy, right? And, in the time that he's been gone, over a year now, first week of September, Labor Day weekend, 2019, and his birthday, 17th and 18th. His 18th was just the last Sunday, a week ago Sunday. And you see a lot of things in your social media group with, people celebrating things, no matter how hard and you don't really want to try to explain how or why you feel. But even the smartest, nicest people, men or women, young or old, especially older, they don't seem to get. Do you ever notice that? They never get the amount of pain you're in. If you have a miscarriage, if you lose your dog or your cat, if you got fired from a job after 20 years, but when you lose a parent or a child, it's a little bit different. In my case, my son, there's a whole sequence of things that went behind the scenes for many years. Him and I were really close. We were 40 years apart. The divorce happened like a bomb, just exploded. We didn't see it coming. In 2012, he was 10. He was born in 2002, and he was just barely 10 actually. And my oldest daughter, who at the time was probably 14, and then my youngest was barely 3. And each of them took it differently. Sophia really didn't know the youngest. My son did, and he couldn't deal with it. And he would sleep with me because we were separated. I moved out for about almost a month. I came back. I had another building behind my house. I slept in the back. But it was kind of funny because for the great many years before I had met my ex-wife, who was about 15 years my junior. She was born in 77. And, I didn't know that the anomalies that we were going to have, I thought we'd work out. I was very youthful, kind of still, but not maybe as much. But, and she was kind of more on the straight and narrow. So we didn't look like the odd couple, but somehow she found somebody closer to her age that she wanted to consort with, somebody in the medical field that I helped her go into. And when I looked at that, I thought to myself, I duped again, because I had dated a handful of women in the course of my life that I thought were from good families, good backgrounds, traditional, good education, church. And then what you find out is that doesn't make anybody any better. In fact, I think it's made the world worse, as you can see on social media. People that you think you have the most, whatever. But not everybody. And everybody's got their levels of good and bad in them, myself included. So I'm just here tonight because it gives me an opportunity that somehow somebody might see this later, and not on Facebook, or Instagram, but right here. And if you're out there and are caught in a bad relationship with somebody, whether they did a lot for you or did very little, the real honest truth with the technology of satellites, the internet, now we have drones and things. I mean, how private can we become? Social media. It's almost impossible to hide too many things anymore, or we have to get more tricky, more what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted to say insidious, but maybe that's too strong a word. But the best thing is just to walk away and not try to harm the other person, especially if there's a partnership involved, money, a business, kids. But that doesn't seem to be the case. It seems like those become the weapons, the devices of war that you use to decimate somebody out of sheer spite or emotion. I know I'm not long for the world. I know everybody wants me to be what they want me to be, like the song says, but it's not about being negative. It's about being aware of your own purpose, your own mortality, your own finality. And I've tried everything I could be. A charitable person, a good person, a caring person, someone that was compassionate, somebody that loved to entertain people. Can't do that now lately. And that was a struggle because the competition and people genericize that. So I had to look for other things. I served my time as a firefighter. I'm just one of those guys that's very unlucky in everything I do, no matter how high I get, no matter how well I do it. And when I do, I get very high in the ranks. I accomplish a lot fast. And for the most part, not always, not all. There's always people better than me, faster than me, whatever, smarter. But I always made it close enough to the top to ring that bell or, put the flag on the top of the mountain. I got to the apex. And it seems that, everyone saw that and got jealous of it or whatever. But, it was so hard to get to. It was almost like, is it really worth all that work? And, sacrilege. Let's see if I can get that right. There you go. There's my boy. See him up there in the far corner of your screen? Wait, where is it? There it is. You touch him right there. So, I tried to entertain people through the coronavirus. Everybody at first was scared and stressed and upset. We're going to catch it. We're going to die. Is this thing real? Is it not? And then it became, of course, a political thing. And now, of course, we don't know what it is. Can't wait to get the vaccine created, but nobody wants to take it. So I'm like, I had to leave the madness behind because I'm just plain indifferent, and I'm tired. I'm always tired. Technically, I never sleep. When I was at the fire department, they thought I never slept. I was fine and fresh even on just 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And I seem now more than ever, it's like I could drink a pot of coffee. I could take all kinds of pills or whatever, and I'm still tired. So how do I find the people out there that have gone through it and have survived more than a day, a week, a month, a year? Because the civilians out there that haven't gone through what I've gone through, they quote scripture not very well. They try to give you the lack of words that they have to try to bring you, into a different place. And then, of course, they go on to their own merry way after a couple of days or weeks, even months. And I've been very lucky. I've had a lot of people in my corner a lot of people I don't even know. I just dropped that. I did. Hold on. Put that over here. But I didn't mind making people happy. Unfortunately, people act and expect like you owe them that. And it's like some people are capable. Taking off my socks. I don't know why it's getting cold out, but I feel like it's warm down here in my cellar. And I think that for me, it's like I've become so numb They say it comes in waves. Okay. They say it comes in to the point of, oops, sorry. And they say it comes in forms of, I don't know. Hold on one second. Hold on. Wait, one more second. Sorry about that. I don't know. It seems like there's got to be a process. I trusted a process. The thing that bothered me the most, and I had this conversation earlier with a couple of people. I was at the gym a couple hours ago, and I Googled something, and I went on. I typed in, "How can I talk to my dead son?" I did. It's right here. And there's all kinds of things. There's some things on YouTube. There's some books you can get, and a bunch of other things. And one of the things I read, it took me over to Quora. Quora is another app or something. And it basically said that when you die, there was a couple different perspectives. And these were very intelligible people. And they came off very stringent. They said, one said that when you die, and they were quoting, I think, Old Testament, that when you die, you're just dead. They use the words non-existent. Like it's over, it's it. And this is from the Bible. And that kind of really wow, that affected me a little bit. Like there's nothing else after. You can't communicate. There's no humanly thing you can do. There's no human out there that has the ability or the power, never has, never will, to communicate with that other person. Once you're gone, you're gone. It's over. And then somebody else that I read as I scrolled down said that you are in this resting state. You don't dream, you don't think, you don't feel any pain at all. You're just like in this limbo, like a suspended animation, and then waiting for Jesus to come back and bring life to the planet, and they come back, whatever. And then there was other things I read. I read through like your energy changes form. It's like, stop wasting my time. I was already there. And some people might come back and linger a little bit, but then they would go on and they would take on a new life form with a new existence. And like that was a former life that no longer had value or purpose or even meaning to them. In fact, it was even incomprehensible for that person, that individual that had died, to look back on any of the loved ones. Yet we were stuck here mourning and thinking and, missing that person, remembering that individual, and, being tormented by that until it was no longer as painful or it was bearable or whatever. So that's another thing. And I the reality for me, ironically, the last several days was, maybe there isn't anything after this. I'm really almost leaning towards that. And for a lot of reasons, because I have had many, many people die in my life. Both sets of my grandparents, friends, even recently I had a couple friends die. A bunch of people, countless. And at the end of the day, no matter how much I've reached out to them, and I know we can conjure things in our mind, no matter how we are in our state of mind, to believe we see things, signs, or hearing, sounds, or just really, really believe that person is trying to reach out to us, like a canary or a blue jay, or like for me, it's X's in the sky, even though they're probably just chem lines or something. And then maybe there's just that time they come to us for a little bit, depending on how strong their will is or their soul is, or how youthful they are. Like my son was very young, so I saw a lot of signs. Supposedly older people, they don't have that strength, that stamina, so you're not going to see that many signs, if any, which is how it was explained to me, different ways. So I look at it and I'm like, what is my purpose now? And because of the COVID thing and the Corona situation that's out there, and there's so many, I can't even keep up, like I said at the beginning, that I'm trying to figure out, do I continue my purpose with my son, number 10, pushing people, motivating people, and myself. And I just, for some reason, I'm at this phase And that's why I dated it. That's why I've been dating my broadcast on Facebook or here, and most of the ones from Facebook I either have or will upload it to YouTube. But for me, I'm at this point that's now shifted, and it's like I don't find value and purpose anymore. Not only in what I was doing here on Facebook, which I try to join with YouTube, but again for copyright reasons, because there was always music at the beginning and sometimes in between for entertainment purposes to lighten up the load and get people, into a happier place. But even looking at what job I would be even comfortable having being around people, I went into a Walmart that I've been going to for probably at least 15 years, and I've had days where it wasn't great, but most of the time I've even when I can't find something, I'm like perfectly fine. Sometimes I went in there with my kids. Sometimes I went in there by myself. Most of the time, and I've never really had an issue. Today, for some reason, everything just didn't seem to work right. I couldn't. There was too many people in every aisle I was looking at. There was this, there was that. I was trying to buy something. They couldn't find the price. I just walked out. And then I went out of my way even further for some reason to drive to another one. And then I went to the wrong door. Then I had to walk about, 1,000 feet. Still was the wrong door. So I walked right to my car to take my car all the way to the other side of the store. As soon as I walked in, there was lines in the lines. And I go, I'm not going to spend my whole entire time here. I think that's what happens. I think we get to a point where we hit our lowest peak, our lowest valley, and we got to figure our way out. And I hope that's the case, because especially when there's significant loss that lingers into it extends. It extends the grieving process, if you will, the mourning, where you keep thinking about a particular person. But there's always going to be people in the mindset, and I tend to agree with this, that you have to be productive no matter what. And I have for the most part. And more obstacles have been thrown at me with people, with things, with trying to extend my business or stay afloat, in my home. And dealing with my daughters, making sure that they're comfortable, they're fed, and they're protected. That's still my job. But I just wonder how many people out there have gone through a particular loss and then added on other things. And what's the best process to make it more meaningful, more survivable, if you will? So that's what I'm pretty much doing on this Friday night. And it's only 18 and a half, well, almost 19 minutes in. But I just wanted something, because I called the earlier ones, which were kind of not, if you saw my Facebook shows, most of them are pretty upbeat when I do it from down here with the pink facade around me and the lights and everything. But it's like, for the most part, I think that, how do I say this correctly? I think that there's a time and place where I knew on Facebook I was going too long. I was running too long and posting things that I had posted before, but I did it for everybody else to see that hadn't seen it before. But I think that there's that next phase. I'm trying to be as positive as I can be, for the most part. I'm trying to make my son's memory mean something to even one or two people out there, even if it's just his sisters and myself, maybe his grandparents on either side. His mother, I'm not sure how she feels or thinks. We don't really talk about it, even when we see each other. We're not mean or nasty to each other. We're very stoic. It's just a vapid, hey, what's up? Hey, what's up? That's it. We don't communicate. We don't talk. So I think solving relationships with anybody in your past or presenthood should be the most optimum thing, because without positive relationships with people that you're close to, your significant other, your parents, your kids, your coworkers, your classmates, whoever, um, if resolving conflict seems to be the opposite of the norm these days, even on social media, politics. We love to vilify each other. We love to pounce on each other. We like to have this group road rage mentality on everybody and hide behind that. I don't want to do that. That's what wears me out. That wears me out. So when I play that song from the 70s, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, You Made Me So Very Happy, it was basically a love song. But instead of a man and a woman, I wanted to have that my positive moniker, a guy who loves music, and say, um, you know, and hopefully that somebody might download the song on YouTube or watch it or something, or listen to the words if they don't know it already, and just look at somebody and say thank you, be appreciative of the time you have or had with that particular those people or person, whoever. And it's not a bad song. It's got an uplifting message and harmony. The melody's not bad. So I hope that, and pray if that's what works, that people will come together, because living on this planet is such a hard job, just existing on this planet, especially in the most powerful country in the world. It didn't used to be like this. I mean, we've always had our share of problems and war, and there's never not been any crises on the planet, but there seems to be more than ever before. Wildfires, you think by now we'd have figured that out. Hurricanes, I mean, we're getting one every other week. They ran out of names. Now we're into Greek numbers, Greek numerals. What is it, beta or something right now that we're on? I just want it to be something stronger. And I'm not trying to be all melancholy, because I'm usually the jokester. I usually love to make people laugh. And I'm not a comedian, but I just love cracking jokes and being sarcastic and being funny and having people jump in and do the same. But I know that I've isolated myself from a lot of people. And I think it's for a lot of reasons. One, it's just to not deal with anybody anymore. I'm very capable of erasing anybody from my life, even anybody, for any length of time. But it's to escape the drama, the conflict, the innuendos, the ultimatums, small or large, it doesn't matter. I'm indifferent. And also to regroup, to reset, to find a better message, to find a better method of surviving this life, with or without the death of my son. Because, at the very least, I do have 2 daughters here that I enjoy very much. And, it's the adults, no matter how smart they think they are, they're all making me crazy. I don't want to be accused of making anybody crazy or nuts. I don't want to annoy anyone. But I think that's what we need to do. We need to try to find a way to come together. And I wondered how I would be thinking right now. The biggest question, I think, of anything before I leave, which will be in just a couple minutes, will be this. And what would my life be like? Even though I had a lot of problems and issues and financial hardships because of my divorce and custody battles and stuff. But if my son, even with all that aside, if my son was still here, what and how would I be? And relating to not just my own particular life, but the life out there and the messages that I've tried to project, which were really simple. I was just paraphrasing, not even quoting most people. I was paraphrasing, love, make magic happen, uh, trust the process, take everything to level 10, which will probably be in about 4 weeks with the 10th hurricane, since they're into the group numerals. But maybe there's not a solution. We wanted therapy, talk shows, reality shows, um, so many things out there to kind of uplift us. Mega churches, motivational speakers, infomercials. Um, I don't know. I'm making funny gestures with my mouth today. I can feel it. I think it's because I'm drinking lemonade, homemade lemonade, Italian organic lemonade. Holistic. Thank you. So for the weekend, as it's dropped in temperature about 30 degrees, whoever sees this, I know what it's like to be super desperate, depressed, miserable. And I'm not talking for no reason. I'm just talking for quite a few practical reasons. But for whatever reason you feel down and out, whether it's just something inside you, can't relate to things, you can't be with people, you lost something or someone. Life's just been a total bitch. It's hard to handle. You just wish you could just escape and never return. I want to toast you for at least still being here and trying whatever it is and dealing with the pain inside. And I'm going to try to find a way to make life better, as best that I can. Because the one thing, no matter how bad I feel, I always fight. I always make a call here and there. Sometimes it's a waste of time. Sometimes, like going to Walmart today, it never was a waste of time before. But today, I had everything in the cart that I wanted. Everything was fine. I found everything. Half the time I can't find half the stuff there. And I found half the stuff there, all of it. And then I just left it there. Isn't that crazy? Tell me you haven't done that. So go enjoy your day, whatever day it is when you watch this. Try to be better. Try to put out the fire, even if it's somebody else's fire that they started, like those firefighters. They didn't start the fire. Somebody else did. And that's one of the hardest things to do. Sometimes it's hard to extinguish things. Sometimes an incendiary fire is a brutal attack. It's something that you have to, they call it situational awareness. You have to do a 360 to see, the back, the front, both sides, to see, where the source is coming from and how to figure out that plan of attack, how to ventilate, how to, see who you're going to rescue. It's a strategy. Life's a strategy. It's not just one particular thing. And it doesn't guarantee a good outcome all the time. It doesn't prevent the building from not being completely destroyed or people from escaping. There's a lot of risk. There's a lot of effort. It's hard work. So on that note, I hope that we find resolutions personally and out there in the world with everything going on. This wasn't a very exciting one for me. This isn't the exciting one. These are the ones where I take everything off. I shut all the skin. It's like not wearing makeup or anything. And then you look at it and you go, what really matters the most in your life? And how can you find peace and happiness with the simplest of things? And not everybody's like that. I went out to dinner with my brother and his friends, and most of them are so successful, younger than me. They're retiring, spending money like it's water, even during this whole crisis. That's amazing to me. Some people are just totally unaffected by the world around them, only inconvenienced by certain things. Inconvenienced. And that's fine. So, and some of us aren't that. Not everybody has that luck, and not everybody has the capabilities or the ability to weather the storm inside here or on the outside, externally. So, keep your head up, as they keep telling me. Trust your process, and I'm gonna come back. I'm not Joe Rogan. I'm better looking. I got more hair. Just kidding. Uh, but I hope that everybody out there in this world, and this isn't impossible, this is very quixotic. That means it's almost an impossible goal or dream. But we got to find a way to make life this much better. I don't understand with all the technology that's out there. We could take all the plastic out of the ocean, make houses that float, and we could do so many things, and yet we're not. I don't get it. I'm trying to make sense of it all. And I think that we have that ability. Maybe not necessarily me, but if I can think it and I can see it, then what are the smarter people out there doing about it? Right? I don't know. So on that note, thank you for watching a little bit, if you watched it at all, or if you made it this far. And it's been this is probably it's been very, how do I say it? It's been a very difficult week. And I'll leave you with this. It's because I spent an entire year not only trying to process and survive this stuff, and then 2020 was supposed to be a great year, and then the coronavirus and the protests and all this other stuff came around, and then a bunch of personal things I have to deal with, but especially losing my business. But it's funny because as soon as it was the 13th, I realized, as significant as his memory was in his life and everything else that was included, on his 18th birthday this past Sunday, I realized the next Monday when I woke up, okay, it was over. It was over. There was no point in me pushing more pictures and videos. And I did. I kept doing it. And then I noticed that the viewership and everything else went from, it was much greater at the beginning, and it's stable for a long time. And then the last few days, including this morning, it was like hardly anybody. And I said, okay, I know I'm the house guest that should leave right now. So I'm just saying my piece here because I can. I don't have an audience. And at the very least, I can go look back at it and cringe later, to say this is what I was feeling like on September 18th, 2020 at nighttime on a weekend. And that's it. All right. Well, a friend of mine invited me if I want to go over and hang out with him for a minute. Maybe I'll do that. You're never alone. If you ever need anybody to talk to, send me something, a message or whatever, if you do or don't. And I'm gonna show you as much attention or as love as I can possibly send you. Okay. Don't ask for money because I don't have any. But I got plenty of homemade lemonade. So cheers to you. You're still here. And if your life is good, share it with somebody. Reach out to somebody. Make somebody's day. You have friends and family out there that would love to hear from you, that you'll make a better, a better situation for. And that's not a bad thing. That's adding to your purpose and your meaning. And is that pretty deep? I don't think so. So, all right. Well, I'm going to let you go. 35 minutes in, no commercial breaks. And that's it. Trust the process. Thank you very much. On behalf of my son, Dante, and me, Chris, Dante's dad, have a great night. Have a great weekend. And if it's in the daytime or wherever you're at, just try to enjoy your life. This is kind of more my diary than anything. but I'm glad you've been there sharing it with me the whole time. Okay. Well, thank you.